What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to Movies Are Terrible Live on YouTube and all other places where podcasts are available. I'm your host, Jeremy Branch, and joining me, I have a couple of the Movies Are Terrible YouTube usual suspects with me here. Let's see if I can let these guys in a magical way. Nope, already dropped the ball. I fucked up. All right, show everyone.
What were you trying to do?
Don't worry about it, dude. It was a failure.
One-on-one reveal?
Yeah, I wanted to. I thought that would be like a cool way to build anticipation. Let's see. There they are. All right, there's everybody all at one time. Joining me back for another episode, co-host Caleb Miles.
Man, 2 podcasts in a row?
Yeah,
That's like seems crazy for me now.
I'm getting spoiled, man. I'm getting spoiled. I'm going to start to expect it. And then welcome back to the show, Alex of Momentum Media. What's up, man?
What's up, guys? I'm sorry if I'm adjusting my camera during the live, but I'm doing good, man. I am doing good.
We've done quite a bit of collaborating over the last couple of months. It's just been a while since you've been on the live stream.
Yeah. The first time I was on the live stream with you, I think you were doing the DC fandom coverage.
Oh.
I wasn't on camera, but I was on audio.
Then it has been a while, dude. Wow. Well, welcome back. It's good to have you back. We actually might be showing up together on a fellow YouTuber's channel here in the next couple of days, but I guess I'll hold back just to make sure everything goes according to plans. But I've actually got a good show picked out for tonight. Thank you to all of you that are in the chat right now, really helping come with some fantastic topics that we're going to discuss a little bit later in the show. As always, we're going to kick things off with a little bit of weird news. Then we're going to move into the week's movie news headlines. Before we do kick those things off, again, thank you to everybody that's in the chat right now. I see you guys. Y'all are the best. McLovin, what's up, man? Glad to have you here. And quick shout out to all of my Patreon supporters. In particular, I gotta say, I was not expecting to get a little bit of financial support, a tip, not a super chat, but from Brad Fedek. That was super cool of you. He decided to skip the middleman and not send it through YouTube super chats. That way, we didn't just give away 30% of it. So thank you very much, man. That was super freaking cool. I don't think I'll ever get used to that, but I really do appreciate it. Also, shout out to Daryl. He said he got his Movies Are Terrible t-shirt today. I can't wait to start seeing pictures of those, but I'm going to be working on some new merch soon. But as of right now, it's all pretty much new merch because there's like 5 of the shirts in circulation, so they're good as new. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
That's
definitely,
like,
man.
I have some designs I need to work on that I think you'd like.
You've actually contributed greatly. I mean, one of my favorite designs is the animation that you did, or the images that you did for the animation for Out of Context Anime.
Yeah, there's a couple other ones. I'm like, man, I got a new tablet. I can draw again. So
I'm really trying to push those shirts on Caleb and Alex. I don't know. This might be a little behind the scenes, but I'm like, come on, guys, I'll give you a $5 discount. And so far, no takers on that for some reason.
I got you, Jeremy.
I need to buy the animated one.
Yeah, it's tight. It's tight. I don't know if you saw the hoodie has got a print that the same art on the back of it. But anyways, yeah, Terrible Apparel over on Teespring. You guys head over there and check it out if you're looking for creative ways to support small little content creators like ourselves. Yeah, we know about Gina Carano. I don't know if we're gonna really dive into that.
Hey, man, it's your show. If you want to do it, we'll be more than happy to.
We'll see how things go.
I feel like the last couple of times I've been on here, it's gotten like super serious and political, and maybe just keep it light.
Yeah. We're bringing back the Florida Man segment, so like it's a win for me.
Oh, okay. Then you can talk about anything as long as you got Florida Man.
Correct. Yeah, like we could straight up all hang up and never be friends again. But as long as we get to talk about these 2 Florida Man headlines, I think it's a success.
Oh, wow.
I like going into the Florida Man segment blind too, which is what I'm excited about.
Good. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and do that. But as we have been doing lately, we kick it off with what each other have been watching over the past couple of days. I want to start this off because I saw something on Hulu 2 or 3 days ago that I thought was incredibly profound. I don't want to oversell it. I'm actually really curious how it resonates with other people. But it's called In and of Itself, and it's a Frank Oz directed movie that's basically like Hamilton. It's a one-man show off-Broadway show that was performed like 121 days straight in New York, and
Mm-hmm.
they've done a video of it or a movie of it, and it's existential. It starts off, and all the audience members are asked to pull a card. It says, I am. It may say, I'm a creator, I'm an artist, I'm a ninja, I'm a pain in the ass, just like thousands of these different cards of how people self-identify. And then it goes on to really like deconstruct identity and our sense of self as we perceive it versus the way that we're perceived by the outside world. It's really good. It was emotional, and I had a moment, like there were like 2 or 3 times where like I was about to like choke on emotions. I was like like almost like I had to catch my breath twice trying to keep myself together. It was amazing. But have you heard anything about that, Alex?
I have heard it. Actually, my wife ironically started watching that as well. She's like on episode 2. Before she started, I want to say, if it wasn't last week, the week before she started watching it. She's into that weird stuff. I'm like, I'll I'm in between.
Once she finishes it off, let me know what you think. And I did see you guys. I really appreciate those of you in the live chat right now that mentioned that the levels were a little bit low on the guests. I've gone in and kind of corrected that, so we'll see how it goes. Caleb, did that hit your radar at all? And either way, what you been watching?
So this is the same Frank Oz as in like Dark Crystal Frank Oz.
And Little Shop of Horror, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what else? Didn't he do one of the Muppet movies?
Yeah, for sure. I think the Muppet, what is it? Christmas movie, or not the Christmas one, the original Muppets movie, I think.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it's one of those ones. Now, I watched a movie. It's kind of interesting called Lucky Grandma.
I've heard the title.
Okay, so this is a Chinese film, but it takes place in America, in New York, about a grumpy old grandma who ends up finding a bag of money and gets sucked up into like a mob war.
Oh, that sounds great.
It's not as good as you expect it to be, like to be
it's like
honest.
Most of the headlines that we have versus the actual stories underneath them.
It's still like a solid 7 though.
Okay.
Like it's a really, yeah, it's a solid 7. It's funny, it's charming. The main lady, you would recognize her, I cannot think of her name. She actually, I believe, is from like the old Fu Manchu movies.
Interesting.
Yeah, so yeah, and now she's a grumpy old lady, and she is incredible of it. I feel like the parts where it's just being a drama about her being an old lady and about like her financial woes, it's actually really good. The parts where it tries to be a little more like a MacGuffin comedy of errors, it's not quite as strong.
Is it a martial arts movie?
No, it's not a martial arts. Yeah,
I'm definitely interested in that. All right, excellent. One more time, what's it called?
Lucky Grandma.
Lucky Grandma. That's going
which is the best name ever for a film.
I mean, I've made a couple grandmas lucky in my time, but Alex, have you seen anything over the last week that's really hit the radar for you?
So I haven't been watching movies, but really TV series. I have 2. On Hulu, I started this the show called The Rookie with Nathan Fillion.
Okay.
Like very, yeah, he's a really dope show. But the show that's got me really sucked in, I started this show on Netflix called The Sinner.
Oh, season 3 or season 1?
Season 1.
It's very good. Okay.
I've never seen it before. From the first episode, oh my God, I was just hooked.
Yo, that scene on the beach. No spoilers, but what?
Yeah,
dude,
I was just like, what? It really makes you think, like, what the fuck is going on? But
yes,
I started watching that, and I think I'm on like, if I remember correctly, episode 4 or 5. I'm eating it up, like it's so good. And season 3 just dropped.
It did.
So I now have like probably a good few weeks to comb through season 1 and season 2 so I can get to the new season. So I'm excited about that.
It stars Jessica Biel, who I believe produced the show. It also stars the guy that played the president in Independence Day. I'd always know his name, but I mix him up with Jeff Bridges. Bill Pullman.
I always mix him up with Bill Paxton.
Yeah.
Really?
That's for sure.
And I don't know why.
Caleb, have you heard anything about The Sinner?
No, but I've seen parts of The Rookie, and it's pretty funny. Like I like The Rookie, what I saw.
Sinner is heavy. I think it's really good, but it's not exactly a easy watch. I don't think by any means. It's very heavy.
No, God, no. Like you have to. Well, I wouldn't say you have to be like super sane, but you gotta like you
Super
can't
Saiyan?
like sane, like
Yeah.
like it will break you if you're not like all there.
Like if you're not in the right headspace for it.
Yes.
Random
Most
Andy's
definitely.
channel. Random Andy's channel. I just happened to see this out of the corner of my eye. I'm not going through all these, but I happened to stumble upon this, and I love it too much to not address it. Does Lucky Grandma have guys breaking bricks on their goods?
Oh wow.
It does not. That's the only way. Then it would have been a 9 out of 10.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. That's a really good question though. I'm glad you came with a question that I feel like really added value to the conversation. So thank you for that, Andy. Always appreciated. We're going to move into some weird news headlines. So we've actually got a couple of cat stories we're going to get to in just a moment. But Caleb, did you hear that somebody changed the Hollywood sign to Holly Boob and they got arrested for it?
I saw that.
They changed it to Holly Boob.
Holly Boob. It didn't even look
Please
very
tell me
good
they were
either.
like 15.
I don't think I can tell you that, bro. I think one of them was like he owns a adult film production company, so I guess he did it for promotion. 6 people were arrested. They changed the Hollywood sign to read Holly Boob. The LA Police Department has arrested 6. The prank occurred Monday afternoon in the Hollywood Hills. They covered the letters W and D to look like B, and they didn't commit any permanent damage. I mean, what do you think, man? Is that okay? They got suspicion of misdemeanor trespassing. Then they were later issued citations and released on their own reconnaissance. What do you think? Does the punishment fit the crime, Caleb?
Yeah, I think it's fitting. I mean, it doesn't sound like anything too serious that they gave them.
No, I could understand even if they changed it to something like Holly fuck or something, you know what I mean? Like something that was more offensive, but like you said,
I mean,
it sounds like
wood
kid
is
talk.
already as offensive as boob.
It's actually a very good point, bro. I'm glad you brought that to our attention because it might as well be the innuendo. Yeah, I'm with you, man. I'm with you. Okay, so Alex, the person is a founder and CEO of the adult magazine Shag Mag, which I've never heard of. You know,
That's an incredible name.
we're all kind of in the influencer culture. We know people are trying to go viral. Do you think this was a good strategy to get shagmag.com put on the map?
Most definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, it takes some balls to do something like that. I mean, and then to essentially kind of walk away scot-free. I mean, I wouldn't throw them away for 10, 20 years. They didn't kill anybody.
No.
But yeah, this was the perfect thing for them to go viral. When I saw the news though, I cracked up laughing because I couldn't believe it was real.
How much of let's say it didn't put a permanent blip on your record. How much time would you be willing to spend for this much exposure for Momentum Media? Quantify it in weeks, months. How long would you go to the joint to get this level of exposure?
30 seconds.
30 seconds. All right, Caleb?
Yeah, I don't even think I'd do 30 seconds.
There's no way. There's no way.
Live stream it.
I'd rather die.
Yeah, I guess that's a good point too. Like, what jail are we talking about? That dramatically
Exactly.
changes things. I would probably, the thing is with these 15 minutes of fame, we're going to forget about shagmag.com by tomorrow. So
I don't know. It's a good name.
It is a good name.
Shagmag.
It really just kind of rolls off the tongue.
If I had a porn streaming site, it'd be Masturbation Station. That would be my.
It's pretty good
wow,
too.
That's original.
That
really is
good.
Original.
So what's up, guys? Justin in the chat. I see you, man. Thank you guys all very much for hanging out. Patrick Stewart, I see you in there. Mark Makeover in the chat. So let's see. Rose said he altered the sign to get attention for Instagram. She said that the platform recently suspended both of their personal and business pages because of nudity. So he says, my product is nearly identical to that of Playboy, and my content may even be considered safer than what Playboy's been allowed to publish on your platform. I got a question for you guys. We always come back to porn. It always comes full circle back to porn. here on Movies Are Terrible on YouTube. Do you kind of miss softcore porn? Has it just gotten to be too explicit? Caleb, what do you think about this, man?
No, fuck no. Give me weird, hardcore
You want to
shit.
see the inside of the labia.
I want to just see some stuff that gives me nightmares at night.
Okay, I wouldn't
Alex?
go that. I wouldn't go that far. I think the softcore porn was like it's like pointless. You might as well if you already showing half of your ass, you might as well show all of your ass. That's why I don't follow Instagram models, because it's like, dude, you might as well just make it OnlyFans. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's I think softcore porn is pretty much done for me.
I can see that. For me, I appreciate it. I appreciate the female form. I want to see a butt. I don't really want to see a butthole. I mean, maybe there's certain times that I want to see a butthole, but for the most part, I'm good. You know what I mean?
Just give me a telescopic close-up.
Oh, man. All right. I guess we'll move on from that. I guess. Holly boob. All right. So, yeah, as I mentioned a minute ago, we got some cats in the weird news, and this is one of my favorite videos of the year. I don't guess I even need to show it because I feel like everybody's probably seen it already, but if you haven't, Huffington Post has a video for Rod Ponton, I'm Not a Cat legal Zoom meeting. So he was an attorney, and he was going in to do some sort of conference with other lawyery type people, legal type people, I think a judge, and he had a cat filter stuck on his face. Caleb, did you see the video?
I saw this. This is hilarious. So the video wouldn't be that funny. What makes it funny is the "I'm not a cat" line.
That's the best. Wait, hold up. Are you sure, Alex? Did you see the video?
I didn't. Well, I admit I saw 10 seconds of it on Instagram, but I did not see the full video.
That's about enough. I mean,
that's about it.
All
Yeah.
you need. Yeah, he's like, my secretary's trying to fix it, but I'm ready to move forward. I'm not a cat. That's a classic line, and I was thinking about it, and maybe it's not a cat. Maybe it's that socialite Jocelyn Weidenstein. You remember that lady? She was the one that got the
cat lady
surgery. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's a thing, man, that I don't understand. That cat lady.
No. I wonder if she would plead the same case. I'm not a cat, but
I think she would plead she is a cat.
Yeah, it's actually probably just as likely. I know that if anybody got hot and bothered by this, similar to Caleb about up close buttholes, it was probably Joe Exotic getting all hot and bothered over it, like, ooh, look at that cat.
Oh my god!
I don't know, man. It's a furry thirst trap video.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, I think so.
That is disturbing.
Yeah, I got a kick out of that. We need more innocent, dumb, silly cat filter videos. I remember there was this 4-hour hearing or something, and one of the people had it was like a murder case or something, though. It was a serious offense, but the person had the Snapchat filters where they had the cat ears on. It was a police briefing for a big crime that had just happened. It was also hilarious, but yeah, I mean, I guess before you stream, go ahead.
I just caught a comment out of the corner of my eyes that is great. Another one, King of the Hills 34. Sometimes I switch to porn when someone walks in. It's easier to explain than this.
Oh wow,
that's great. That's incredible.
Somebody pin that. That is fantastic.
That is fantastic.
Shout out to King of the Hill. He's hilarious.
Yeah, that was good. All right, we'll move on, I guess, because we can't just leave it though on one cat story, because it's the internet and people love cats. And moving into the Florida man news, staying on the cat subject. You cool cats and kittens. There was a Florida woman who was sued by the condo board for feeding a stray cat. Talk about punishments that don't match the crime. First, people are getting arrested for Holly boob with tarp, and this lady literally is getting sued for feeding a stray cat. She says, "I'm terribly surprised. 78-year-old woman. I've had cats all my life, and I do it respectfully." I know, Caleb, you're actually a cat lover.
Love cats.
Alex,
Cats are
how
the
do you
shit.
feel about cats?
I think cats are evil, and I
Okay.
hate them.
Okay, so we'll get
And
your
she
take on
deserves to
this.
get sued.
Like, okay,
Fuck that lady.
what what would make you so mad about a stray, like, if it were a pack of stray cats, maybe that would be a different situation. What do you think, man, if you had a neighbor, 78-year-old woman, because this is down near you, this is in Tampa Bay, and she's out there feeding cats, like, what is the line? Like, how long do you let her feed the cats? How many cats do you let congregate in your apartment complex or your condos before you're like, all right, I hate cats, I'm done with this?
So for me, like at first, I guess I wouldn't really care because it doesn't concern me. But like if I were to like if I was staying in a apartment complex where that was happening, and I saw maybe like 50 or more cats
Yeah.
congregating around this woman, that personally would, like, if I'm trying to get into my car and cats are on top of my car, and I think that funny story, when we moved to Orlando and we stayed literally maybe 10 minutes away from Disney, and the apartment complex we stayed in was a 2-bedroom. It was like $1,300 a month. But I found it strange that people had some of their cats on leashes. I've never seen that at all. So one particular lady would allow her cat to climb on people's cars. And I didn't know that her cat was on my car one day. So as I'm backing up going to work, she's like, stop. You're gonna kill my cat. And I rolled down my window. I said, I'm sorry, but where's your cat? I don't see in the road. She's on top of your car. I said, well, you have a good day. And I just drove off. The cat was alive. It was alive.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, why the hell would you allow it to climb on people's cars?
You're tapping.
Go ahead, Kate.
I was gonna say, you're tapping into one of the things that annoys the shit out of me more than anything, is those pet owners who just like let their pets do whatever. And then they're shocked when you have a reaction. Like they'll just allow their dog to run up and jump on you, and then you're like, get the fuck off me. And they're like, whoa. And you're like, well, no, dude, like put your pet on a leash.
Just because you let the dog lick you on the mouth doesn't mean I want that shit to happen.
Yeah, no, not at all.
No.
All right,
God,
so
no.
I just now found out that as much as I like cats, Alex's threshold for stray cats is much higher than mine. I'm probably pulling off like a 10 cat max before. That's the cap off for me. I don't know, man. If there were 10 cats running around.
But they could be like 10. You could scatter though. You could separate those.
Okay.
50 is like,
oh yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
That's a bunch of cats.
Yeah.
I'm actually the only cat lover on the podcast who's like,
I like cats.
No,
not as much as dogs.
You are a betraying bastard to your cat.
Whatever, dude. Whatever. All right, please go ahead.
But here's my thing: is even as someone who loves cats, if they were all around my apartment complex and I'm like, they're especially all at once, like if they're coming every once in a while, fine. But I'm with you. If there's like 10 cats outside my apartment, fuck off.
Yeah, dude.
No.
I just now realized something though. Like I'm starting to put things together that maybe I shouldn't be paying close attention to, but let's back up a little bit to the part where Caleb said clearly he wants to see buttholes. Here we are talking about cats. All right, Caleb, I see you, bro. I know why you like cats so much.
The connection.
Keep it to yourself.
It's funny. When I was back in Pensacola, when I was living with my parents, when I was like maybe in high school, the apartment complex we stayed in, a lady would feed stray cats as well. One neighbor got mad. Again, I wouldn't think this would be super like something to overreact to, but one neighbor got mad and he took his son paintball gun and starts unloading on the cats. But that same neighbor who did that got arrested.
For that?
I never saw him. Yeah. I mean, you can't shoot cats.
Yeah, you can't shoot cats.
You can't. I mean, you can, but you're going to go to jail. And then at that point, I don't know if I seriously doubt he was in jail for a long period of time, but I never saw that person ever again.
Imagine going into prison and that's just, what are you in here for? Shot some cats with a paintball gun.
Yeah, man. Oh, wow. I don't know. I feel kind of bad for her. I don't know if she'll actually get sued for a lot of money, but I mean, that's kind of the deal. You have a condo, and then there's an association, there's a committee. If they have these rules, like you can't leave your clothes on a clothesline outside and you do that, like, yeah, it sucks, but You signed the contract.
Bro, I was one of those people until I always was like, oh, I don't think I want an HOA until I started looking at neighborhoods without an HOA.
Bruh.
I'm so glad. I was like, no, we need an
Bruh.
HOA.
Yeah. Well, I said that same thing when me and my wife were buying our house. And then when you go into the neighborhoods that don't have HOA, like, and it's not like they're like ghettos, but it's like people don't take care of their shit.
I
So
see.
I was like, oh God,
Dude,
no.
we were looking at this house. This house was $500,000. And
Mhm.
outside the door window, you look down and there
Mhm.
was like a full-on hoarder house. Like just shit all piled up in the yard. And it's like, are you
Hell
kidding me?
no.
Like,
Oh my
nope,
God.
I don't care. And then that house ended up selling way out of our budget for like $650.
It really
What?
does reduce your property value living next to stuff like that.
It does.
Well, all I can think is like, as someone who grew up in the hood around a bunch of dirty fucks, all I can think about is the amount of rats that would come into my place.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever had a rat in my house. I live, as you guys all know, because I talk about it incessantly. I live here in Florida, and we have no rat problems in my house or my apartments ever, but there's almost no way to keep out rat-sized palmetto bugs. They fucking always find a way in. It's not like my house is infested by them, but they'll get in through the cracks in your door, and you'll find them scurrying across the freaking kitchen floor in the middle of the night. They're big, dude, and they're big enough that they have features. Like, you could line up 3 cockroaches next to each other, and within just a couple of minutes, I would be able to tell their different identities by the expressions that they make on their faces.
I'm just picturing Joe's apartment or whatever.
Yeah,
From
yeah.
FTV.
Yeah. When I lived in Pensacola, I saw that too. Like one particular time, it's funny because it's an actual joke, but you step on one. I came back to get some tissue. Look back, that dude was gone.
He just got up and shook it off.
He just got up and just gone. It's like, what the hell?
Yeah, dude, I don't do bugs, man. Hell no.
Oh man, we got it.
God,
I don't know if this will be able to stay in focus. Yeah. Can you imagine how big that wolf spider was?
Oh, you got bit by a spider? Oh, I can see it now.
I was asleep, I guess. I had no idea that it happened. It didn't hurt. It never swelled up or anything. But there's no way that is anything other than a wolf spider that was probably about that fucking big that was on me when I was asleep.
You
Maybe
guys
you're
heard
gonna
it
become
first.
Spider-Man.
Jeremy's in Spider-Man 3.
Yes.
See?
Jeremy's in Spider-Man 3. Tom Holland's lying, by the way. But yeah.
You think so?
Oh yeah, he's lying.
All right, we'll come back. We'll come back to that. Hold on to that thought for sure, because I didn't put that in the headlines, but that's a conversation worth having. But before we move out of the Florida man and into the movie news talk that I'm sure you guys probably come here for, there was a Florida man with the state tattooed on his forehead that calls 911 for a ride home. He's been charged with the misuse of the 911 system as well as possession of marijuana.
Allergy sufferers,
Sorry
plan
about
ahead.
that, but yes, he has a full-on Florida tattoo in the middle of his head. I think when you do these kind of things all in conjunction like this, I have to assume that you're trying to go viral, and if you ask me, that's using your head. You know what I mean?
Well, literally, that's using his head, that tattoo on his head.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, seriously, like this dude did everything that he possibly could to become the Florida man mascot. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or there's the other equally plausible thing that he's just a man who lives in Florida, and this is what he does.
Yeah, that's actually a fair point. Maybe it wasn't intentional at all. I think it was actually a cover-up job, and that he used to just have like a dick hanging down in the middle of his forehead, and they're just like, black it out, give it a little panhandle, you're good to go.
Maybe he lost the bet.
Yeah. Yo, face
My
tattoos.
thing is, like, if you want to get a Florida tattoo, more power to you, whatever. But right on your forehead, and like I saw the picture, he didn't have like a bunch of other face tattoos.
Nah.
No, he just had one.
Baby skin everywhere. It kind of looks like if you told me that was a birthmark,
Yes.
I would maybe buy it. Alex, did you see the picture, dude?
I did, because it's funny. I still get Pensacola news on my Facebook feed. Well, ironically, I follow this group page called Florida Man something. I saw it, and it was at first I started laughing, but I'm just like, wow. When you look at Florida, a lot of that stuff random stuff happens either because, drugs were involved, or like you said, they want to go viral, or maybe this is just a way of life for them. My question for these people are, who raised you? Like, who raised these people? I've been in Florida my entire life, and I have never thought about doing half the shit that these people do.
Well, and to get way too serious for this conversation, because I'm sure you weren't actually asking, but Florida's like one of those places where like it's all like shit rolls downhill kind of situation. You know what I'm saying? Like we get everybody, and not just the bad people. Like Schultz and Akash from Flagrant 2 are broadcasting their podcast out of Miami right now.
Yeah.
You know, Trump just now moved to Mar-a-Lago, which
Mar-a-Lago,
but then also, you know, a bunch of wealthy retirees from New York all the way to like meth heads from Kentucky or whatever, and it's interesting like that. And I think that's what makes Florida such a crazy place, is that the richest of the rich live next door to the poorest of the poor, and it creates for some interesting interactions.
It really does. And I find it funny that some of the poorest of the poor have more sense than the richest of the rich.
Yeah,
in a sense.
Sometimes 100%. Mm-hmm. Florida man, thank you for bringing the goods back to the channel once again. You can always count on Florida man to at least elicit some sort of interesting conversation.
Yeah.
Florida man mascot, it's official. I gotta pull up his name real quick. I don't want to like. I plugged,
you don't want to not give him his credit.
Correct. Could give this man his moment in the sun.
Millions of parents are saying yes
Matthew
to Children's
Leatham.
Allegra, the number
Shut
one.
up. Matthew Leatham, you are today's Florida man of today. All right.
Tomorrow there'll be another one though,
Yeah.
so you don't hold that. You don't hold the Florida crown very long.
Oh man, I saw some people were like kind of upset that Tom Brady. People are upset about every fucking thing. I shouldn't even frame it like that. I saw some video of Tom Brady throwing the trophy from one boat to the next in that Bucks water parade. People are like, "Oh my God, he's drunk. He's out of control." I'm like, "Dude, they are having a good time."
Yeah, he just won a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I'd probably be doing the same thing too.
Yeah, for sure. Oh man, all right. So we're gonna go ahead and switch gears over to some movie talk, and you've probably heard me say a little bit about it as I did a video on it a couple days ago, but I would really like to hear the panel's thoughts in regards to the new design of the Jared Leto Joker. Alex, we discussed this a little bit, and people will see that before too long. The conversation was more generally about the Joker, but what are your thoughts on this new take on the character that we've seen in this role before, knowing what you know about Zack Snyder's film? What do you think?
I don't want to be long-winded, so I'll try to keep this concise. I think the photo they released looks freaking amazing. It does kind of mirror Joaquin Phoenix's Joker with the long hair and then I guess the full painted face. But then again, it's black and white, so you don't really see it in full context. But the texture and the temperature on it looks really cool. I hope the Joker's in this movie more than 10 minutes. I don't want this to
You're
be
getting like 3.
I didn't want this to be like, okay, they're doing Justice League. Zack Snyder, I think, has some gems. I won't call him a trash director. He definitely has gems. But, you know, people shit on Zack Snyder because of certain movies like Batman vs Superman, and then even Man of Steel, and even certain movies that he's done outside of the DCEU. And now people are clamoring for a Snyder cut, but y'all had no problem shitting on him because of how he shaped his universe. But I'm excited. I want to see what depth of. I think that's going to be more of a Batman scene, because I don't see why the Joker would be talking to the Justice League. Like, not any other character would have that type of antagonist protagonist relationship with him other than, I feel, Batman. So I think to have a Ben Affleck Jared Leto scene would be actually pretty cool. I'm excited because I see we saw the picture and it's in that particular context. But like I stated before, I hope it's not like Suicide Squad Joker where he pops up in one part then pops up in another part.
Yeah, I 100% agree, and I think Caleb
So-
kind of is right on that when he says it's only
You
going to be
know
a couple
where
minutes.
exactly the scene's going to be, right?
I actually
I think
do.
it's in
What do
Arkham.
you got?
No, I think it's in the post-apocalyptic scene.
It's in Nightmare, supposedly, and maybe this is a spoiler if you guys want to tune out for 15 seconds. This is actually in the same article in Vanity Fair. It's already been published, but the same dream sequences that Bruce was having when he talked to the Flash and BVS that led him to have the little trench coat scene where he was fighting the parademons. He's going to have a vision where he's speaking with a spirit force ghost version of the Joker.
Right.
And they're going to have a very brief interaction. And I agree with you, though, Alex. Taken on their own, I think the photos are pretty badass. But Caleb, what do you think about all this?
Yeah, I think it's super cool. I'm one of those people who actually didn't have a problem with Jared Leto's Joker. It was a different take, but they're all a different take. No, they're all a different take. Like that's just always. Right. Yeah, I'm like I didn't understand the overwhelming hate. I was like, okay, there's aspects of it I didn't like, but there's aspects of every Joker I didn't like, except for Joaquin Phoenix because his is incredible.
Yeah.
Like I can't say anything bad about that one, but I think he'll be in it for a couple of minutes. Every time I see the nightmare sequence, I'm like, how cool would it have been if we would have been able to get one more film that is a true post-apocalyptic Batman, Superman, Joker film? Give me a superhero film meets Road Warrior.
Yeah.
I'm in.
Oh no, that would be freaking amazing. That's like I could see like Batman and Road Warrior together. Like, oh, that would be freaking amazing.
Like, I'm like, just give Zack Snyder one film to do that, and then I'll be happy.
But not Zack. Not Zack.
I definitely want
someone
Zack.
else.
I agree with you.
I love Zack Snyder.
Not Zack. Definitely not Zack.
So I think that there's a lot of kind of conjecture about how much of this movie is Snyder's original vision versus how much is being reshot. I understand he had a ton of footage beforehand. I heard somebody say that they're only adding 5 minutes of additional. 8 minutes? Is that what they're saying now?
That's what I've heard. Is 8 minutes.
I read 8 on IGN.
And then if they throw in some visual effects shots, I mean, they could have up to 25, 30 minutes and only 8 of it be actual footage that was shot, and then just mix up. Because there's a lot to the filmmaking process that I'm just not privy to. I haven't seen what kind of footage that they have to work with and how much you can actually restructure something that's already been set out. But it feels now like they are deviating so much from the Whedon version. And I'm here for that. That's what I want, a totally different movie, you know?
Yeah. Love it or hate it, I want an actual film that feels like it was made by one director, not two.
Yeah.
Frankenstein film.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
I'll go ahead.
It's going to be better.
Yeah. I agree with those sentiments. I want to see Zach's full vision. I think we said before on your live stream, the trailer that initially came out, it got me hyped. I can't wait to watch it. I've watched the film. But if it's trash like Justice League, I will say on any platform, my platform, your platform, it's trash. Like Zach, I think this is the time for Zach to knock it out of the park. If he doesn't do it, at this point, it's like you have no excuse.
Here's my thing, and I keep telling this to everyone: if you don't like Batman versus Superman, you're not going to like this film.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking. And if it's gonna be if this is gonna be more focused on like a longer, like the nightmare scene, like I don't know if that's gonna be enough to sell me. I don't know. That's just me.
I want 10 minutes of footage slowed down in slow motion to 4 hours with Leonard Cohen doing Hallelujah behind the entire thing.
The giant music video. For me, like I'm pumped, but I love BVS. I think it definitely has its problems, particularly the third act. I think is garbage, but I think that's every superhero film for me.
Yeah.
So the Martha scene is one of the scenes I actually was shocked at the outcry because I watched it. I was like, oh, that's a cool scene. And then everyone's like, they have the same name. That's why they stopped. I'm like, is that how you guys read the scene?
Now all of a sudden they're friends. What the hell?
Like, I read that scene totally different in theater.
Wait, Caleb, to your point, it's not about the name, it's about understanding the humanity of the character.
Yeah, and it's about a scene where Batman realizes he's been the villain this entire film.
How basic are comic book writers that every fucking character has the exact same origin story. Oh, they got in a science accident. They're all scientists. Every fucking superhero out there is a scientist, right? Like, aren't
Especially
they?
Marvel.
Yeah,
Marvel's
every
very
Marvel
scientific.
character is a scientist. Oh man, it's crazy. Was there a point to that? Did I have somewhere I was going with that? Somebody
I don't
help
think
me
there's a
out.
point to the whole podcast, so I don't think so.
It's a fair point. It's actually a fair point. Alex, please bail me out.
I said that Batman vs Superman is the best Zack Snyder Batman film because all the Batman scenes I loved. Superman scenes were okay at best, but the story just falls apart. Like, okay, you and Superman have the same mother's name. That turns it around for you, but you can accept the fact that Superman was the one who protected us from his fucking family that was trying to destroy the earth.
Yeah.
That's what changes your mind. That's what the problem I had with the premise is that, oh, Superman's the virus. He's the one bringing all this hell on earth, which to a degree has some merit, but he stopped it. Where was you? Where were you? Your ass was like trying to stop. You were retired, quote unquote. Now all of a sudden he has the same mom's name, and you were like, "Oh, I see the humanity. Now I want to help out." Man,
So Gina Carano.
What trips me out is that now you have sympathy, and in the very next scene, Batman slaughters all of those people, and I'm like, "What the hell?" Although it's a dope scene,
It is an incredible
what the hell is going on? And he's like, "I'm a friend of your son's." Oh, now you're friends. Like, what the hell?
I agree with that line. The Martha scene didn't bother me. The friend of your sons, I do agree. That whole scene. So for me, I read it as, well, so that film, the reason I love, so Ben Affleck is personally my favorite Batman, just because he plays him like a psychopath.
Yeah.
Because Batman is a psychopath. Yes.
And I'm like, this guy's clearly disturbed, and he clearly has a lot of trauma brought about by his mom. So to me, it made a lot about watching the death of his mother and father. So to me, it made so much sense that triggering that trauma was what kind of finally sent a message to him.
That makes sense too. I can see that through that lens. That actually is a pretty good take on it. I do tend to fall on the side that it's silly, but you have moved me back towards the middle a little bit.
Honest to God, I was shocked when I saw the backlash. I was like, wow, I read the scene totally different than everyone else.
I got the whole point of the scene, but for me, I was just like, my question is that why the instant switch? Like, you had no remorse for this dude. Like, you were about to literally take his life. So if I tell Batman, listen, I know I killed all these people, but my mom's name is Martha.
That would probably be one of your
but
best
I
shots.
also think it's so much like Dark Knight Returns, where where Bruce Wayne hears voices of Batman, where he's actually schizophrenic. So watching it, I kind of had that because I'm such a fan of that book, I think as everyone else is.
Yeah.
That when I watched it, I was so bought into, okay, Batman is borderline schizophrenic. He's a complete psycho. And so when it led to that scene, it all just like worked so well for me.
Yeah.
It looks like some of the chat is with you on this. I'm shocked. No, actually, I think you bring up some good points, man. But we'll go ahead and move on to a topic that I don't think you're going to be as enthusiastic about, Caleb. But Alex, first of all, we'll start with you, man. What are your feelings on the Falcon and Winter Soldier trailer that we got first at the Super Bowl? We'd seen a little 30-second clip or something before, but we got our first full-length trailer. How did it hit you, man?
So, like you said, I saw the 30-second clip, and then I went to Facebook and saw the full trailer, and the trailer was amazing. I love the banter between Falcon and Winter Soldier. It's like the odd couple, like they have to work with one another. They don't completely hate each other, but they annoy each other.
Yeah.
I think that's a very interesting dynamic. My fear about this show is that we've kind of seen that dynamic before.
That's a good point.
But I am interested to see it. My thing is that what's the narrative? Like I saw out of all the footage that we've seen, the only premise that we got that Marvel released is that the government is choosing their new version of Captain America and then Zemo's involved, and Zemo wants to kill all superheroes. But we kind of saw that in Civil War. So how are we going to tell it in a different narrative? That's my thing. I don't want it to be too generic. I don't want it to be too generic. But as a trailer, as it sits, oh man, I loved it. It was amazing.
Tristan in the chat, what's up, dude? Martial arts film freak, welcome
What
to
up, Tristan?
the party.
What up, man?
We haven't had a good buddy cop story in a while. Why not a superhero version? Caleb, did you see any of the footage?
No.
So I watched it and I kind of took it like everybody picks up on different things. I did a reaction video the first time I saw it, and what I typically pick up on the most is the dialogue between the characters, what's actually said in the trailer. There's a lot of flashes of imagery, and the first couple times I see the trailer, it doesn't even really register to me. It was a bunch of astute viewers in the chats and in the comment section afterwards that pointed out a couple of interesting things to me. Alex, you're right. It is very cryptic about what the story is about. However, we see that Zemo is basically creating a group of extremists. You know, he's got an army of people that are all wearing the kind of baklavas. He's got his purple mask now, Caleb. So he's like evolved from Helmet Zemo.
So he's actual
Zemo. Yeah,
okay.
He's Baron Zemo now. And yeah.
Was he in one of the other films? Which one was he in?
He was in Civil War.
Oh, he was in Civil War. I knew he was in one of them.
But like, he's not that memorable in Civil War.
No, he isn't at all.
I think he's a great character, and it's more from a thematic perspective as well. Kind of to what I read out of it is he represents collateral damage and the way that it affects, like the actions of the Avengers have a human cost. And I thought that was a really bold thing for them to confront, because we're looking at the conflicting ideologies between Steve and Tony. And then there's this whole other thing about vengeance on both sides. We've got Black Panther, who's brought into the MCU. Dude, that was the first movie that Black Panther and Spider-Man were in the MCU. Yeah, and if you ask me, one of the biggest character arcs is T'Challa's. Like, that movie is really about T'Challa's redemption and deciding to not go down the dark path and become another version of Zemo. I thought that was really interesting. So I like the interplay between Anthony Mackie and Sebastian Stan, back to the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. But somebody said, dude, they're in their military fatigues. I don't know what you call it, sorry, but like when they wear their suits and they're doing like the gun salute and stuff. Somebody's like, dude, this show starts off at Captain America's funeral. I was like, what? Yeah. It's very possible that it does. And I like that. I'm actually a person that doesn't want Steve Rogers, as he is, to come back. I would way rather Falcon become Captain America.
Yeah, I would want either Falcon or Bucky, but I don't know. Jeremy, tell me if you caught this. From the trailer, I see Falcon is training to be Captain America, because you see him throw the shield.
Yeah.
But it seems like to me that is not something he truly wants to be, or what he's destined to be, because there's a scene where Bucky catches the shield. And I'm like, okay, we saw Cap give it to him, obviously, in Endgame. Spoiler if you haven't seen Endgame.
Yeah, what are you even doing here, really?
But
Caleb.
No, one third of the podcast.
Oh wow, you haven't seen Endgame, Caleb?
Hell no.
He does not give a fuck about any of this shit, dude.
Wait, no, man.
You don't give a fuck about any of the MCU?
No, I was actually kind of shocked when you said there was character arcs in Civil War. I missed that part.
I hate this fucking guy.
What?
Dude.
Oh my god! Wait,
me and Caleb are the Captain. We're Winter
you like
Soldier.
Batman versus Superman, but you refuse to watch anything in the MCU.
Oh, the MCU is such trash, bro. No, there's certain movies I like. I love the first Guardians of the Galaxy.
Right. That was dope.
I think Winter Soldier is decent. I think the first Iron Man is great. And I think that's it. Now I'm done.
You haven't seen Infinity War?
I watched like the first 20 minutes. I had to turn off. I was like, I can't watch this shit.
Yo, well, anyway, finish my point. I'm sorry to take us down that rabbit hole, but finish my point. Like, it seems like to me, they're showing that Sam's destiny is to be Falcon. If he is going to be Captain America, seems like it's going to be a very slow process. And Bucky, could probably adopt that moniker. Maybe.
So,
you know.
okay, I feel you, and I think that it's 100% valid because he does in the comic books and stuff. I'm curious, knowing how broad appeal Marvel has and how it really is a 4-quadrant kind of film, I'm wondering if because, what Bucky did, specifically to Tony's parents, but to all sorts of people, would they let him wear the Captain America mantle because he is a cold-blooded murderer, despite the fact that he was programmed to do it?
Keep in mind, he helped bring back the universe. Or, well, he helped fight off Thanos.
That's a good point.
So, I mean, I would be a little bit forgiving. That's me. But then again, like you said, like it's because even in the synopsis, the government is not okay with Sam taking the mantle of Captain America, even though Captain America gave him the mantle.
Well,
that's why
Sam's
they have
black,
a new.
Dude. They can't be having that shit go down.
Exactly, it's the government. They can't have a black man as Captain America.
I think that's why.
Speaking of that, have you guys ever read the Captain America where they had the experimental government super soldier thing, where it was nothing but black men? It's an incredible comic.
Nah.
Yo,
man,
I'm looking at the chat. And someone's like, Caleb is dead to me.
Yeah,
I'm surprised cancel Caleb isn't going. That's usually the thing.
I was friends with Caleb.
No, it's kind of a beautiful thing though, because we fill in the gaps on each other's knowledge and appreciation of different stuff. But I think it's super refreshing to have a perspective that's not so in the pocket
in the
of
mainstream.
these things. Yeah. Okay, so Caleb, to the point from a kind of objective standpoint, when you hear about, well, I think everybody in the chat knows, Bucky killed Tony Stark's parents. Can you let that guy become Captain America?
Absolutely, because everything in the MCU has no consequences.
I see you, man. I think that's.
I'm just being honest. That's Disney. Yeah, absolutely.
Also, keep in mind, like, and I know it's like this is all fiction, but the government has essentially the same values of our real world government. So I don't find it hard to believe that they would elect a white man who's killed innocent people to take on a mantle.
Yeah.
I firmly believe they would be okay with that.
It's a fair
given
point.
Our current
on a quick
circumstances.
tangent. I just have to ask you guys, because I know you guys have both watched it. How is WandaVision? Because that's the first thing I've seen in a long time that looked interesting.
Jeremy, you saw the latest episode, right?
Oh yeah.
All I'm gonna say is that when that reveal, not just the reveal, what she did by leaving that freaking reality, I was like, oh shit,
yeah,
oh shit. I was just like flabbergasted.
I think it's great, Caleb. I think, like you said, being one of the first things that you've been interested in a while, it's interesting. Like it definitely is a nice change of pace. I did want to say your comment about lack of consequences. It may or may not apply to this series specifically, but it definitely applies to Loki, because Loki murdered like 100,000 people in New York in the first Avengers movie, and now he's like everybody's like favorite.
Is it?
Yeah, everyone loves him.
Like, is WandaVision? Because this is a show I'm actually considering watching, just because the trailer had me interested. Is it very like campy jokes every few seconds, like most of the
first
MCU?
2 episodes are?
Okay,
I would say that.
I think I'm picking up what you're putting down, Caleb. The Marvel stuff doesn't really happen until episode 4. I think you would really like the first 3 episodes, and then I have a feeling it's the conventional nature of where things start to go to that you might be less impressed with.
It's probably like my problem with Logan. Like, I love Logan, except for when it turns into a comic book movie.
Yes, same.
Okay.
And honestly, Caleb, since you haven't seen Infinity War like in its entirety or Endgame in its entirety, I won't say you won't completely understand what's going on, but a lot of the oh shit moments that a lot of people are having, you probably wouldn't feel the same.
They would just go over my head.
Because,
yeah.
That
so
said,
it's like,
though, go ahead, Alex. I'm sorry.
I was just saying, my last point was like, you have to be like emotionally invested in order to really enjoy WandaVision.
I can agree with that. I think what happened at the end of this last episode might interest Caleb, because I know
the trailer looks incredible. The trailer looks incredible.
I would love to hear your thoughts on it, man. I think we could. I think we would all like to hear that conversation, whether you like it or not. I think there are definite things that you will appreciate with it. I kind of wish it would have stayed because what Alex just now said, there are a lot of like jokes and hokiness in the first 2 episodes, but they're within that realm of classic television sitcoms. Not the quippy Marvel jokes every 5 seconds from each of the characters. Yeah. So I don't know, man. I would love to hear what you think about it, though. You guys let us know in the chat what you think. Would Caleb like it or not? Martial Arts Film Freak says WandaVision is very good, but so far I think Caleb will hate it because it's good.
I was just my last point to WandaVision. How I said earlier about Tom Holland is lying. What we saw from the last episode of WandaVision. That's why I believe Tom Holland is lying. And I'm going to leave it at there for the people who watched it.
Yeah.
He is lying his ass off.
He is 100% lying.
Lying.
Before we wrap this up, because Caleb, I know you've only got a minute left. Did you hear that there's a Mario Brothers movie animated movie in production?
Yeah, it's computer animated. Yeah.
What do you think?
I could care less.
Really?
About that. Yeah.
Wow.
No, I'm not a huge Nintendo guy. Again, you should know this with me. Anything happy and like lighthearted Disney
color.
So you didn't like Sonic?
No, like I just don't like that stuff. It does nothing. I want my shit to make me feel like I'm gonna die after I watch it.
Homeboy over here in a Mario hat talking about I don't care about Mario.
Did you hear that they were making according to rumors, they actually were. That rumor of the Zelda TV show for Netflix was a real thing.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, but then it leaked, and then Nintendo, being Nintendo, freaked out and pulled the plug on it.
Yeah,
really.
I saw that. Yeah.
I wonder if did you see anything from it?
No, there was like pre-production stuff.
Yeah, it was very unfinished. Like it's not anything that would cause any concern. We don't know what this show is about.
Yeah.
So even if it was like finished, what do we we're looking at Link? Like, come on. Like,
I think that the animated kiddie route for a Mario Brothers movie is the way to go. Just keep it
100%.
almost essentially what it is, and I think that will be enjoyable. But I also kind of agree with you, Caleb. It doesn't feel like an event. There might as well be a dozen CGI Mario Brother movies out there, and I don't think it would really hit the radar for me that much.
You're saying you don't want a underground cyberpunk version of Mario again?
Basically like Blade Runner with 2 Italian plumbers in it.
Mario should be
talking. Shit
insane. He doesn't talk. No, hell no.
It's me, Mario. I would
love to
see
a live action cyberpunk movie. I think that would be interesting to see.
Oh, we didn't talk about CD Projekt Red, but
them getting hacked.
Yeah. A lot of stuff going on this week, man. It's like the news, all of a sudden, we get to hear about other stuff.
Yeah, it feels like the world is open now.
Yeah, I know, right? No doubt about it. All right, Caleb. Well,
you sons of bitches. I gotta go. I gotta go take care of this little monster in my house.
It's been fun. I can't wait till next week. I feel like me and you are finally getting to know each other, man.
No, only take a couple of years.
I'm kidding.
Definitely, I'm gonna watch some weird shit this weekend. I have a couple of movies already lined up that are interesting, so I'm sure I'll have some stories.
And I'm going Lucky Grandma.
Lucky Grandma.
Hell yeah.
And then I'm gonna watch Before We Vanish. Honestly, I will have to get your, because I don't subscribe to Disney Plus. I would have to get your login.
I got you.
All right.
Yeah,
all right.
Later, everybody.
Thanks
later, Alex.
Caleb.
Later, Jeremy. Later.
See you later, man.
All right. There we go. Always a pleasure. Always a pleasure. I love his off the cuff takes. That's the thing is that my channel is called Movies Are Terrible. And I'm always praising everything, dude. I need somebody in here to level me out. So always a pleasure. Martial Arts Film Freak. I saw the Mario movie when you was like 8 and was so confused. 8-year-old me thinking, do I not understand Mario? Yeah, for sure. I'm going to scroll through real quick, see if I got any super chats that I missed. Nope. That is totally cool with me. I really appreciate you guys hanging out and talking some movies with us. We have a couple of other things that we're going to discuss, and we're going to be talking about some of the questions that you guys submitted in the community tab over on the YouTube post. Those of you that are Patreon supporters, you know that all you have to do over there to have a topic submitted and discussed here on the show is just let me know. That goes for any tier Patreon supporters. Also, if I post these kind of polls on the community tab, you can leave your thoughts below. We will try to touch on each of those. I got some really good ones this time that Alex and I are going to jump into.
Yeah, man, I'm excited, man. This is the first live show I've done with Jeremy outside of the DC fandom, but I'm excited, man. I've been wanting to jump on for a minute. I'm glad I had an off day.
Yes, I am too, man. I really am. It's always fun. I really enjoy having you on. And we do this pretty regularly over on Momentum Media. Check out Real Debates. Check out Ask Alex. All sorts of great content over there, including. We'll talk about it. I'm going to put a pin in it, but I want you to talk to me about a couple of the interviews that you've done lately at the end of the show. So King of the Hills 34 coming through clutch with the super chat. He says, small dono, just cuz. Thank you very much, just cuz. I really appreciate you. Appreciate you all the way around. Shout out to King of the Hill. For sure, man. For sure. Long Matey 80, welcome to the conversation. How to leave a conversation in the most fun way possible. Step 1, say something crazy and get out. Love it. Love it. Thank you for, and then they're like, have a good night, y'all. Love it. Love it. All right. Next conversation before we leave this, Borderlands. Are you familiar with that property?
So, I believe we talked about this on my show. I played the game before. The game came out when I was in high school. It is definitely a like a very psychedelic, weird gunplay game. Kevin Hart and I forget the actress.
They just added Jamie Lee Curtis to it.
Yeah, Jamie Lee Curtis, and Jack Black is actually going to be voicing a role in that movie. So I'm interested to see. I kind of feel like it's going to be they're going to take the Jumanji approach to it, but not in its traditional sense where they have lives. Like, no, this is going to be a post-apocalyptic, like modern warfare, Call of Duty cartoon game. Like, I can't wait to see it.
Yeah, what you just now said, that's interesting. I didn't realize Jack Black was going to be in it, but he's reuniting with co-star Kevin Hart in Borderlands, directed by, get this, Hostel's own Eli Roth. It'll be interesting to see him do a take on a big budget movie other than he did The House with the Clock in the Walls, which also starred Jack Black. So obviously they're having some good working rapport. I don't love Eli Roth's stuff, but I certainly think he's a lot better than Rob Zombie. Have you seen any of his horror movies?
Oh yeah. Oh God. I can't name them off the top of my head, but I remember seeing them and studying film. I find it odd that studios are giving these people budgets to make these trash movies. I just, and like people who are hungry directors who know shit, like, come on, man. All I'm asking Warner Brothers, Disney, Lucasfilm, give me 10,000. I can make anything you want me to make.
There you go. Yeah, dude. Oh, wow. Kate Blanchett is also going to be in the movie, and she is from The House with the Clock in Its Walls as well. I really like the original Hostel. I think what was that one he did with Keanu Reeves? Knock Knock was pretty good with Ana de Armas. And I think you and I talked about that one for a minute as well.
Yeah. That's actually a really good movie.
So I'm curious about this. I think that Borderlands has a very dedicated fan base that I'm not familiar with. I know it most from cosplay of Handsome Jack and something Loxy. I don't know.
The female character with the robot. Yeah.
Yes. So as much as I'm not super familiar with this stuff, you and I have talked quite a bit about video game adaptations and their successes and failures, and I don't know if this is going to be the one. Jack Black will be voicing the role of Claptrap, which is the iconic little box robot that rolls around, I believe. Yeah, I don't know. I'm interested. I think it's really shaping up to be a great cast.
I'm here to make a statement. I believe that this is going to be the dawn of a resurgence of video game movies.
Mm,
I feel like it started with Jumanji.
sure.
Jumanji's not based off a video game; it's actually based off a board game,
Mm.
but it is a video game. But Jumanji was good. Jumanji 2 was a good sequel. I didn't like it more than the first one. Sonic is very surprisingly good.
Yeah.
If they do Borderlands right, I think they could really do it really good. So I think comic book movies potentially, like the video game movies, have to establish a franchise first. I think comic book movies may have a run in its money in the next 10 to 15 years
Interesting.
if done right. Because I almost made that same claim about Warcraft. That movie was trash. Same with Assassin's Creed.
Yeah, I remember when those
Trash.
came out and how big of a disappointment they are because they're both like great potential in them. So Emmy winner Craig Mazin, who wrote HBO's Chernobyl as well as The Last of Us, which we're going to talk about here in just a couple moments, thanks to the user submitted topic, they're going to be writing the screenplay for it.
Yeah.
He's an impressive writer. As far as I know, Chernobyl was amazing, but then Avi Arad is going to be producing it. I feel like he's one of those guys who could really go either way. He's done some good stuff. He's also done some crazy
Jeremy,
shit.
have you played The Last of Us?
No, I have not.
So, as someone who loves horror thriller, you would love that game. And guess
Really?
what? They got the guy who plays the Mandalorian. He's going to be the main character.
We're going to talk about that 100%. I'm glad you brought that up.
And if you play the game, it's so cinematic when you play it. It's literally it's like Survivor, like you're using bare resources, making weapons like out of sticks and bats and stuff to survive.
Yeah, that sounds
Like
cool.
that's the end goal, is to survive, and it's so fun.
Hell yeah. Yeah, I would definitely like to check it out. I've really liked what I've seen from it. It looks like exactly what you said. Very cinematic, very pretty. So at this point, we are going to switch gears and talk about some user-submitted topics. As I mentioned earlier, I went to the community tab. I made a post. I said, if you guys have anything you want us to discuss, leave it down in the comment section below, and I got some good ones. Alex, I don't want to put you on the spot, but I do want to ask you, and this is from Random Andy's channel. He actually had a couple of great questions, but the one I wanted to kind of single in on is, what are some of the strangest movies you've ever seen?
I'm
going to give you... Oh, go ahead.
The first Halloween.
Okay.
The
What
first
made
one.
it strange to you?
I kind of agreed with Michael Myers, like in his reasoning. And like it's like a horror thriller. I call it more so a thriller than a horror.
Sure.
And the reason why I also call it strange, and I know I shouldn't be laughing, but like a lot of the death killing scenes are actually funny. I don't know why.
The ghost one in particular made me laugh.
Exactly. And Michael, it's like it's like you can't kill him. Like, so why even try? Like, that's why I kind of like hate the Halloween sequels.
Yeah.
But the first one I think is like a really weird gem. I thought it was strange because he doesn't necessarily have a specific reason and why he's doing it, but he's doing it because I guess he loves killing. And it's just, I don't know. I find it weird how the antagonists fall in love with the very act that is wrong.
Sure.
And it's so strange, but also interesting at the same time.
Yeah, that's a cool take. I've got a couple that I put in here, and actually I just now saw one of the ones that I have on my list. Andy, you mentioned Eraserhead, David Lynch's debut feature-length film. It's all in black and white. It's incredibly unsettling. It's all about the anxiety of childbirth and how it takes hold of one man's psyche. It's a very, very strange movie. Seeing the little baby for the first time is incredibly weird. It's just an unsettling and unusual movie. Random Andy's channel, $5 super chat. The Holy Mountain and Eraserhead 2 are the two strangest movies I've ever seen. All right, Andy, The Holy Mountain is now going on my list because I like your other pick. Eraserhead was the first one I wrote down. Then I moved over to a movie called A Field in England. This is also a black and white film that came out a couple years ago. It's directed by Ben Wheatley, who did one of my favorite horror movies. It's called Kill List. And A Field in England is a black and white film in which a group of like pilgrims, like puritanical pilgrims in like the 16th century or something, eat a bunch of hallucinogenic mushrooms, and they all just lose their minds. It's very experimental, very non-linear story, hard to know what's going on. Definitely some disturbing shit in that one. And then the last one I want to close up on this particular question with is a movie called Rubber. Have you heard of Rubber, Alex?
I have not heard of Rubber, no.
So it is a horror movie, I guess, in which a tire tube from a car rolls around and kills people.
Okay, that makes no sense.
No, it's the weirdest thing.
Like, how does it end? I probably am not going to watch this movie, but is the tire like possessed? Like, how does it end? Like, what's the motive?
Dude, I'm actually gonna Wikipedia it right now because I was watching it and it's almost like nothing really resolves itself. It's not like the tire has any motivations. It's almost just set up like a slasher movie, and there's like this rubber tire lurking around in the distance. Okay, so it's a French independent satirical horror film that came out in 2010. It's been a while since I saw it.
Okay, that explains a lot.
In the 90s in the desert, a tire named Robert suddenly comes to life. He kills some people, and then Robert emerges from this house reborn as a tricycle, prompting a man in the wheelchair to protest to Chad that the film isn't over. Yeah, it's very meta. I kind of feel like I should revisit it, but when I saw it, I was just like, what the fuck is this?
A rubber tire killing people. That's actually interesting, like on a comic book, but a movie?
It was weird. It was very weird. So yeah, there's a couple of weird ones. I didn't go down the disturbing path because there are a whole lot of those. I saw Tristan mentioned Ichi the Killer. That one is definitely very disturbing and kind of funny movie as well. Frog Demons, he says.
A very disturbing movie that I was actually kind of disappointed in was but I kind of like was Bird Box.
Okay, yeah, for sure. Yeah. I think that's a good one.
I mean, we never saw what they were looking at at all. And then my thing is like there were people who accepted the fact that whatever they were looking at made them crazy and wanting to kill people who were, I guess, who didn't believe in what they saw. You know what I'm saying? So it was just that, to me, Bird Box, I love the narrative, but I don't understand the purpose of the film. Like, because they ultimately end up in a safe haven full of blind people.
Yeah.
I don't get it, you know?
Yeah, it was a little bit like, now what? As far as the ending goes. Yeah, man.
Exactly.
I definitely think that was a kind of interesting way to go about it. And then Brad brought up Tusk. I think that is definitely a weird one, as well as Yoga Hosers with the Bratzies in it. Those are both weird late stage Kevin Smith movies. Mark McKeever says Soul.
Said Soul. Really? How Soul creepy to you?
Yeah. It definitely was weird. It definitely had some weird esoteric themes to it. We're going to move on to the next question. This one is from Holden, not Holden Hardman, but our friend Holden here on the channel. And he says, have you seen the new film Judas and the Black Messiah on HBO? And if so, what are your thoughts? I have not. You did see it.
I did see it.
Excellent. Take it away, dude. What do you think?
Okay, let me just say this. I love the fact that we get to explore Black stories in Black History Month. It's a very, very interesting story. I think, though, there's some things that they tried to hit home that we kind of like. I get, police brutality, government controlling Black people. Not really. I'm not trying to spoil the movie. It's everything that you would see in your natural Black History Month movie, which is amazing. They do a great job telling a great narrative. My thing about it is that it's kind of like we kind of seen that before.
Sure.
But at the same time, it's a really good movie. The guy who played
Daniel Kaluuya from Get Out.
From Get Out. Oh man, my God. Wait. Perfect casting. Like, that guy is freaking amazing.
Yeah.
It was a really good movie. I didn't see it on HBO. I won't say how I saw it, but I didn't see it on HBO Max. But it was a good movie. I enjoyed it.
The reviews are so incredibly high on Rotten Tomatoes that I have to feel kind of like I haven't seen it, so I don't want to speak out of turn, but I'm sure it is a movie with incredible performances that's really well written, that just isn't the kind of story that you want to revisit time and time again and something that you're going to remember forever. It's like, I'm sure it's a very well-made film.
Yep, it's really good, really good. If
yeah.
anyone has HBO Max, or I believe it's still playing in theaters, you can definitely go see it. It's really good.
Lakeith Stanfield's in it too.
Yep.
Sorry to bother you.
Yep.
Oh, wow. That is a cast, dude. Holy shit. Okay, Fred Hampton, a young charismatic activist, becomes chairman of the Illinois chapter of the Black Panther Party, putting him directly in the crosshairs of the government, the FBI, and the Chicago police. All right. I do have HBO Max. I think I might check that out. Cool. Yeah, I appreciate the suggestion. I appreciate the question, Holden. That's definitely a good recommendation. We're going to move on to our good friend Jay Wolfie. And he says, what do you think about The Last of Us casting? Me and Alex touched on it just for a minute. And so I saw this casting news earlier today or something like that. What do you think about it?
So the actor, I forget the actor's name.
Okay, real quick, I'll set it up. Sorry about that. It's Pedro Pascal, who plays the Mandalorian. He also is from Game of Thrones, and then the actress's name is...
He was also in Wonder Woman 84.
That's right. Oh, yeah, we're trying to forget about that, bro. We're trying to forget about that. What's her name? Bella Ramsey.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got Bella Ramsey and Pedro Pascal cast as the two leads, Joel and Ellie. What do you think?
This is perfect casting.
Okay.
This is perfect casting, and I'm going to tell you why. Pedro Pascal has some serious chops. He makes, I feel, and I'm not basing this off of just Mandalorian. I'm talking about his career as a whole. I feel like he challenges actors to step their game up, to make kind of like how Denzel does in his films.
Yeah.
I don't feel like Pedro really did that in Wonder Woman 84 for obvious reasons. But in the certain films that he's done, I feel like this is the best casting, because if you play the game, the main character that he's portraying, he's just, like I said, he's just trying to survive. He's trying to, get through this zombie apocalypse. And this will be perfect for him, because when you look at even roles like the Mandalorian is just trying to complete his mission. And since we've seen him in a, life versus death situation, this is going to be basically, how can I get to the next day? So I can't wait to see his portrayal. I think, like I said, I just think this is a perfect casting. I don't know how, because this is HBO, so Warner Brothers, I don't know how they do their casting, but if you look at the main character of the game and you look at Pedro Pascal, they look so the same in a sense.
Right.
Like they mirror each other. So I feel like this is perfect. I can't wait to see it.
I'm looking at a picture of them next to each other, and I can definitely see it now that you bring that up. Jay Wolfie, just to touch on your comment real quick, because you were the person that submitted this, he said, personally, my thoughts on it is, I think that there's better casting for Joel, my ideal one being Hugh Jackman, but I'm not really a fan of Ellie's casting, but we will see. I can see the Hugh Jackman thing for sure. As Chief Supreme mentioned a moment ago, and we're on the total same page here, Lyanna Mormont and Oberyn Martell reunited, and it feels so good. I kind of added that last part. That was editorializing his comment. But yeah, it's Game of Thrones alumni. Two of my favorite characters from Game. I mean, no, that's ridiculous for me to say they're two of my favorite characters when I fucking love every character. But when Oberyn came into Game of Thrones, it just lit a spark for that entire season. The Mountain and the Viper is one of my favorite freaking episodes of Game of Thrones. He's incredible in it. I think it's great that we're going to be able to get a little more from his physical acting and seeing his face, because while he's great in The Mandalorian, we don't get a whole lot of range and nuance, at least yet. I have a feeling things are going to change.
I hope so, because I've even read, and I don't know how true this is, but when Mandalorian is talking, that's not him actually talking. That's completely ADR voiceover. Another actor is filling in that role. So it's kind of like when you're playing those types of roles, when you have a mask on the whole time, like how much is he being involved? He even said, and I believe in the article, that he's not on set as much as you think he is.
I
like,
imagine.
because
That's interesting.
most of his scenes are pretty much fighting scenes for the most part.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah.
I'm very much excited about the casting of it. I don't know the story, but after you told me a little bit about it, it sounds like something I'd really enjoy. And like we talked about in the last story in regards to Borderlands, the writer Craig Mazin is obviously giving scripts that people like because he's involved with two of these big heavy hitters and heavily involved with HBO. So I imagine it's going to be a Warner Brothers property. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm very much looking forward to it. I like Lyanna Mormont. She was a little G in the couple of scenes that she was in Game of Thrones. Even when she goes out, and don't act like you're mad about that in the comment section, guys. I know you're gonna be like, Buster didn't know that she died. They all died. That's just the show. That's the show, people. But yeah, I'm curious to see how things go. I think that there's a lot of momentum behind these two. Alex, to your point, this could be the thing that sets the ship on course, you know?
Yeah, I think this is gonna, like, and we were just talking about, like, I was just talking about the video game movie Rises. Although this is not a movie, it's an episodic series, but if you watch anything on HBO, everything is shot like in cinematic form, like kind of like how in Disney Plus, like WandaVision shot cinematically, like Mandalorian. So this, I think, will be the start of video games getting their legs in the storytelling aspects. We kind of saw that with Witcher and Netflix.
That's a good point.
It's based off a video, well, it's based off a book, but also a video game.
Yeah, that's a good point. And that was great. I feel like I forget about the good ones all the time because that's probably the prime example. That's the best adaptation I've seen. I really enjoyed The Witcher. I don't think it's Game of Thrones level, but everything can't possibly be. So yeah, I love it. And so for this final question, then we'll kind of start to wind down here at the end. Well, actually, before we get to that, man, the chat keeps lighting up about the Gina Carano thing. I said we weren't going to talk about it. Give me your 1 minute impression on the Gina Carano situation.
Honestly, guys, and I this is Jeremy's show, so I don't want to be too political, but your consequences have repercussions. She said some things that Disney and most people like myself, and I'm sure Jeremy and others who follow Jeremy don't necessarily agree with. I agree with what Disney decided to do. I think her portrayal in Mandalorian was amazing. But at the same time, you have to understand she played a character. She's an employee of a major company. Disney has the right to do what they want to do, and it also speaks to a larger issue. And I think we've said it on my show and also Jeremy's show. You have to be very careful about what you say. I mean, you can't, like, I know for a fact if Jeremy were to start tweeting things, or if I start tweeting things and our real jobs were to see what we tweet, we would be probably in trouble. So to not drown, to keep it so long, you have to be very careful about what you say. I don't agree with her comments because I went back and saw what she said. Definitely don't agree with her comments. And Disney had the right to move forward without her.
Yeah, I mean, you pretty much hit it on the head. I'm the kind of person where I feel like if you took several of the things that I've said out of context, and I had any sort of notoriety behind me, perhaps some of it I could get in trouble for. I don't work for Disney. Like, that's just the thing, is like, you have got to mind your P's and Q's if you work for a massive corporation that all of the eyes are on. I don't agree with her politics. I think that what she did when she compared conservatives to Holocaust victims was a little I get what she was trying to say, but this whole victim status shit is just it's tired. Go ahead.
I don't get that. I mean, listen, I know families who've had ancestors of the Holocaust. That's not something if you want to compare the Holocaust to something, compare that to slavery. Don't compare that to conservatives who are getting offended because their politics may be wrong. Like, Come on, like that
Yeah.
doesn't make any sense. Like last time I checked, and not even trying to get too political, Donald Trump's not in jail.
Yeah. Yeah, you're
So
right. That's
so
not the
he's
kind of
not being
Mhm.
he's not being prosecuted for anything.
Yeah.
If anything, people are trying to skate what he did under the rug. So this comparison is kind of like really like. So yeah, I definitely disagree with that comment
Yeah,
that she made.
on one
Yeah.
hand, I feel like people should be able to, voice their opinions and have dissenting ideas. Caleb doesn't have to like good movies and can like Batman versus Superman all he
Yeah.
wants to, I guess. But at the end of the day, there is a line, and we obviously saw what it took to cross that line. She had a history of doing things that were seen unfavorably by people on Twitter, and she got, it was the final straw that broke the camel's back. Now she's no longer with him. I didn't particularly care about Cara Dune, Cara Dune.
Yeah, I mean, she was just an interesting side character. And then and the report I read today was Disney was developing like a spinoff with her. And I mean, I'm good with whatever Disney does, but like, I don't feel like that should have been a spinoff to begin with, because what more to her character could we see outside of the Mandalorian that's that interesting? To me, like, I don't.
Yeah, I agree. It looks like her agents dropped her too. What I don't like about this story, and then I swear we're gonna pivot out of it, but Twitter mobs should not be able to dictate everybody's future. Like, you shouldn't be able to just be like, I don't like that thing that person said, so then I'm gonna make a hashtag that says fire Gina Carano, and then enough people are gonna get behind it that the corporation has to make the decision to get rid of her because we've lit a fire and now everybody's behind it. I don't like that. I don't think people should go after each other like that. If you don't agree with her, don't follow her, don't read her post, mute her, whatever you have to do. But it's kind of just the culture, and there is an expectation at this point. We know what the consequences are, so you got to make sure that you don't say anything super controversial if you work for Disney.
Exactly. And like, and the reason why I say like there's certain things that I don't talk about, like, and not just on my platform but other people's platforms, because I understand that as we get bigger, people will take what we say just from random YouTube videos and make it their own narrative.
Yeah.
That's why, like, if we're going to talk about politics or anything super controversial, I try to stay as very candid and very simple as much as I can, because I don't want people to say, "Oh, well, you hate all Republicans." No.
Yeah.
I hate them making doing idiot things, but I don't hate Republicans, so that's my thing. Like, so yeah, you have to be, if you work for a major company, that does not give you the right to go on social media and talk shit, but it also does not give social media the right to cancel you when you feel like it. Like, I don't agree with that either,
I love putting my opinion out there, and my best defense in this, I'll say this over and over again, I'm not a role model. I'm not even all that smart. I'm just some dude on the internet giving shit takes, and that's fine. Like, sometimes it's funny, sometimes it's not, and whatever. You know what I mean? Like, I guess I'm not in a position where I have to worry about it, but if there were $1 million contracts on the line, maybe it would be a different situation,
Yeah, like, if I got paid that much money, I'd be like, should I really send this tweet right now?
Yeah, right?
No, I'm good. I'm good.
Some victim shit, too. It's like, why do you feel so persecuted when I know you're making fucking millions? You know what I'm saying? Like, don't act like you're suffering.
Like, it's funny, and I don't want to dive in too much into me, but some of the celebrities I recently talked to, they don't give a shit about the comic section. You want to know why? Because they get paid millions of dollars.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
Like, they don't give a shit. So this notion where everybody has to voice their opinion, they don't. Like, Master P, who's a millionaire, damn near a billionaire, does not give a shit about what you have to say. Like, come on. All right. Like, let's keep it 100. Like there's certain people that I follow who are up there in their chain. Like, they do not care. Like, come on. Like,
I agree.
But that's just me.
100%, man. I'm on the same page. So, Chief Supreme, he says HBO is hopeful of a Lovecraft Country season 2, and Misha Green is currently coming up with a take with a team of writers. This is according to Deadline. We talked ad nauseum, Kevin and I in particular, about that series. We had a very good time watching it, and it definitely ended on a note in which it lends itself to a season 2. We didn't exactly get a wrap up in a way that felt like, hey, this is the end of the story. Alex, are you interested in this series moving forward? Is there just too much stuff on television? What do you think about Lovecraft Country, and then what do you think about them continuing on with it?
I think it's dope that they're getting a second season, but I think the first season solidified it for me where I don't need to see any more of the story because I feel like they told the story. Like I love that was one of the most interesting things on HBO Max aside from content that's already on like HBO.
Yeah.
But I want to see season 2, but it's kind of like the same way I felt about like The Boys season 2. Like it was interesting, but what how different are you going to make it? That's all I'm like. If you're going to dive deeper into these characters, okay, how deep? How are you going to tell their stories? Like, I'm all about if you're going to do a season 1 or do a season 2, how drastically different can you make the season?
Yeah.
So that's how I want to see that.
That's a good point. And I actually just now said that it didn't have a nice conclusion to it. But as I'm going back and thinking about the arcs of the main characters, it actually did come to a reasonably good conclusion. It was almost as if the legacy thing, like the torch was being passed off from Tick to I'm not going to be able to remember the girl's name right now, but the daughter, you know?
Yeah.
So I think that as far as the main characters that we were introduced to, their stories kind of came to an ending nicely. We've still got Letty and Montrose, so I guess they could go with that direction. I guess, I don't know. There's a lot of things they could do. I'm going to be honest. I'm kind of cool with it being a one and done. And it's not because I don't think it's great storytelling or I don't think that there's a future for the franchise. I'm being so inundated with new fantastic content that it's very difficult to try to keep up.
Yeah, it's Lovecraft Country, although it was definitely amazing. It falls on the wayside of things that I'm already watching now. And kind of like, it's funny, we were talking about once on my show about like the CW and their Arrowverse. Like I stopped watching majority of those shows because they're not as hype. Like after you do like a season 1 and a good season 2, it's like you kind of repeating the same type of thing.
I've seen that.
And with Lovecraft, even if you read the books of Lovecraft, especially the comic books, like it's the same thing. Like at least in a sense when you read the comic books in particular, they do break down certain elements that are very weird and interesting. But after that, it's like it's really nothing else other than the same thing. And I don't want to see anything more than really season 1.
Malitan, I think that's a really interesting casting selection that I actually like. He said Nicola Castorwaldo as Joel, not Pedro Pascal. I love Jamie in Game of Thrones. That we were worried when I was worried, when I started the conversation about Gina Carano that it would get divisive. Everybody just make sure that you respect each other's perspectives. I think we're all kind of on the same page. Nobody should be persecuted for their beliefs. Nobody should be fired for their beliefs. It's about expressing those beliefs. It's about the responsibilities you have as a public figure to make sure that the positions that you take are palatable to as many people as possible. I know that sounds weak. I know it sounds weak, but the point is you just have to know that, like, man, I don't know. It's a tough situation. I don't know what the right or wrong answer to this is. I'm no authority on it. I just feel like we have to respect each other. And yes, cancel culture sucks. We get that. There is a flip side to that as well. And that is that cancel culture, not all these people that are getting canceled and deplatformed, they seem to be doing relatively fine. I mean, like, I don't know. Few people are actually like pushed aside and never thought of or talked about again. Even Louis C.K. kind of had a redemption tour. So I think there's a lot of conversations about identity politics and about the left and the woke people and the SJWs and the fucking incels and the alt-right but I think a lot of it's manufactured, guys. I think at the end of the day, you take this wall of comments and chat and shit away from us, and we're all just like human beings trying to navigate this stuff and make sense of it the best way we can, you know?
Yeah, we're all humans. I will never judge anyone for their beliefs. Whatever you believe in, those are your beliefs. I don't believe anyone should be not necessarily persecuted. I do believe accountability, but you have to understand, like, in the world that we live in, we're a representation of our jobs in a sense.
Yes,
like
you're
if we were full-time YouTubers and let's just say Jeremy started spouting off the mouth about random stuff that didn't make any, like, rhetoric. If YouTube wanted to, they can deplatform him for saying that.
Yeah.
Because and Jeremy's not an employee for YouTube per se, but he's on their platform. So it's just like we live in a society that freedom of speech is not really free. It's not. Like, there's a consequence of everything that you say. She can be a MAGA supporter all she wants. That's fine. But at the end of the day, when you're the face of especially something as lucrative as Star Wars, there's a reason why a lot of actors do not give their opinions about politics.
You're right.
They want to stay employed.
100% agree. 100% agree. I think that's a good place to wrap that up. Before we wrap this whole thing up, I want to again take a moment to say thank you to all of you guys that have come and hung out and enjoyed this conversation. It is only the show that it is because you are here. If you guys were not here participating in the chat, being a part of the conversation, I would not be doing a live stream every week. It's you guys that give this show life, and I really do appreciate you stopping by. As I mentioned, Momentum Media, make sure that you are checking out Alex's content. He's got great stuff coming out weekly. And in fact, I'd mentioned it up at the top. Alex, you did a couple of fairly significant interviews over the past couple of days.
Yeah, so for the guys in the chat who are watching, by the way, I appreciate you guys just talking with us, and especially with Jeremy. Jeremy's built a huge community, so I'm definitely proud of Jeremy and the work that you've been putting in through. But anytime, man. But on Tuesday, I did an interview. Well, I put out an interview with me and comedian Pierre. Pierre was on a movie called Baps. He was in a movie also called For the Love of Money.
Yes.
And also another movie called How to Be a Player with Bernie Mac and Bill Bellamy. Really good adaptations. He's also a comedian commentator on a famous YouTube channel called Comedy Hype, where they talk about a lot of comedy news, break down stuff from other comedians. So he's a very significant person in comedy who's worked with Bernie Mac, Martin Lawrence, Chris Tucker. He was on Def Jam. Like, just Google Pierre Edwards or comedian Pierre, and you can see all of his stand-ups on YouTube. Very, very funny dude. Even when you watch our interview, I'm laughing at some of the things he says because he's just being himself.
He's a funny guy.
He's funny dude. But recently, today, as we're doing the live stream, I put out an interview with Christopher Kid Reed from Kid and Play.
Yeah.
And if you've ever watched any of my content, and Jeremy knows this for a fact, I love the house party movies, especially 1 and 2. And it was odd story. Like last year, I had an opportunity to message him. He never responded back. He responded back this year about like Monday of this week, and we started exchanging information, and I was able to get him on the show. And I have to say, after meeting Christopher Reed, it's like I think I'm good for 2021. Like, I don't want to do anything else.
Dude,
like,
that was so major. You sent a still image through our group chat. Me and him and Ian are in a group chat together, and he sent a still from it. I was like, holy shit, is that Kid? That's crazy, because I'm a child of the 90s. You know, I was born in the early 80s, so I was kind of coming into adolescence and stuff in 1992 and then through like 96 or whatever, when Kid and Play was freaking huge, dude. So like that was that's a big deal as far as hip hop, as far as comedy. Those are two major gets, and I can't wait to see what's next, man. So yeah, you guys make sure that you are subscribed to Alex's channel. It's Momentum Media. If you look down in the featured channels, you'll find it. It's right there next to The Controversy, as well as Holden. and Pastor and Matt's channels. So yeah, thank you guys for being a part of this. It's always a pleasure. And on behalf of me and Alex, until next time, be terrible.
Be terrible, guys.
Peace.